All right, everybody, welcome to today's podcast. Today we have a special friend with us, Cyrina Talbott, who is a transformational coach, and she provides powerful tools of rapid transformational therapy along with coaching. She helps business owners and individuals understand how to navigate growth and obstacles. Your business is leading you to an amazing place, but you need to be ready for it. Her work focuses on mindset and inner healing, bringing you scientifically proven techniques to get your subconscious on board with your goals. This allows you to rapidly overcome anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, and sabotage so you can move to the next level of your life and business. So excited to have you, Cyrina. Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm really excited to talk to you both. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Yay!
Cyrina, we are so not only excited, but honored because you have helped many people, both in a professional setting and also in a personal setting. Can you maybe tell us, let me back up. So, first of all, tell us what you specialize in with your coaching.
So I help individuals and business owners, but it's mostly anxiety and overwhelm. And whenever someone knows the actions they're supposed to take, right? You're supposed to show up online. You're supposed to charge more money. You're supposed to be trusting people in relationships and knowing your worth, and you don't. And your brain knows, well, I should do this and I shouldn't be afraid of that. And I should, and that means there's some old programming. It can even be old trauma for people and old beliefs that are holding you back. And so that's the space I hang out with people to figure out what is holding you back. And really, since our subconscious runs 95% of our life, and my goal is really to take the mystery out of the subconscious. We're like like it's you have subconscious ideas and things that are happening or controlling your life or whatever, but your subconscious communicates with you often, but we don't really know how. And so it's like translating that so that you can understand like what's going on and how do I change it. And my main goal is, if there are things that are stopping you, holding you back, messing with your life and your relationships, you change it. We're not just going to talk about it or get coping skills or say, well, that explains why you do that and that, and then like send you on your way. Like, how do you change it? And it's not like magical miracle cure, but when you have that understanding and can work with that part of you, that powerful part of you, you can make progress. So I love working with business owners because we're the ones that have all the books. Like, how do I change? How do I grow? How do I, I'm so interested in these things because business really calls us to be more and grow and show up differently. So it's, I love working with business owners, but also individuals who are just struggling and feeling overwhelmed and anxious.
Yeah, I totally love that about you. I love your approach in the fact that you are a guide that helps walk alongside the people that you're helping, right? So many other folks out here kind of like just tell you what to do or here's a list or whatever, but you're really a guide in the way that you do that. Talk to us a little bit more about some of the programs and services that you offer around that.
So the main thing that I do is working with people twice a month for 6 months. So walking alongside. And so there's the deep inner healing process is the Rapid Transformational Therapy. That's a therapeutic hypnosis, hypnotherapy, rapid transformational therapy, where we're looking at, okay, what's the root of this? Most of our beliefs we got before age 7. So it's really helpful to go and see where they are so that you can address those and change those. And that's powerful inner child work. You're going to that little kid that was abandoned or abused or feels not safe, and like resolving that, because it is in the past, but when it's unresolved, it's with us all the time. So that's one piece of it. And the other part, what I'm really passionate about, and I love that you said that, Paige, like being a guide, is like, you have all this stuff within you. You are capable, you are enough. And my goal is, at the end of our time together, people know that, and then you have the confidence to make the decision. So I say we work with the past, and we really gain confidence in the present, and then program your future. So the present, like, decision making to me is really huge. And a big piece of it, like, how do you make decisions? How do you trust yourself? How do you have the confidence you're doing the right thing when there's a gazillion options? Like, and I think it used to be, we had, your dad was a farmer, or, a metal worker or whatever, and the mom was going to take care of the kids. So we just had everything laid out. Now we have so many options. Like, are you going to live in a tiny house? Are you going to have kids? Or you're not going to have kids? Are you going to be a partner? Are you going to get married? Are you going to do all these things? You can do anything you want, but it's almost maddening. So I'm taking a long time to answer. That's a goal of working together, that you can be confident in those decisions moving forward and really creating the life you want, because we have a lot of freedom to do that, but we have to be able to know where we're supposed to be in that. So that's the 6-month coaching. And I also do a group coaching that is mindset for money and motivation with a fellow mindset coach for business people and sales. Yeah.
So you're speaking my language, that you
I
and
was
I
gonna
have.
say.
I
I was
know.
gonna say. Elaine has this
No.
quote. Elaine has this quote that you are both the problem and the solution. So
Yes.
I knew when we were having you on the podcast, I was like, okay, I hope I can get a word in edgewise, because these two.
Yeah.
Well, Cyrina also was kind enough to let me interview her for my book that's coming out soon. So I was so, like, when we first connected because of Polka Dot, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to, like, how can we? So she was like, totally let me interview her for my book. Because it's all about getting out of your own damn way, right? And I think that part of entrepreneurship is, like you were saying, there are so many decisions to make. Do I do this? Do I want that? Do I want this? Do I want that? It's a whole lot of this or that. And it's a whole lot of, what if that doesn't work out? Right. And the fear of the unknown. And so we make no decision because we're so afraid that it's not going to work out, that we don't even bother trying. And I think that, I think part of the insecurities that come in entrepreneurs is just the confidence, like you were talking about, that no matter what decision you make, just make a damn decision, right? Because not everything is always going to work out. And I just was talking about this the other day, and I actually sent an email to my list this morning about permission to change your mind. And I literally just had to do this with myself on Wednesday. Give myself permission to change my mind, because the decision I made was not feeling good. It was not feeling in alignment, and it felt heavy and suffocating, and it just was not lining up. And I gave myself permission to change my mind. And, people pleaser Patty was there, judgment Judy was there, hanging out, trying to tell me all the crap. And I just had to say, oh well, right? Oh well. Like, I'm the business owner. I get to make the decisions. I get to decide how I want to run my business, plain and simple. Can you talk more about what are some of the biggest decisions that you help people with?
So the biggest decisions we have, right, are business. What do I do and how do I do it? And then a lot of times relationships, like, where's this going? Do I stay or do I go? I think those are the biggest ones that we all have. But what you said, my goal is not to necessarily help you make decision A, B, or C, but I want to teach you and train you how to make those decisions for the rest of your life. And you, Elaine, alluded to so your mind thinks, your heart beats, and your lungs breathe, and your mind thinks all the time. It's spinning, and it is not a good place to make decisions. Trusting yourself. So I tell people, I call it intuition, your gut, your heart. There's a part of you that's chill, and there's a part of you that's really wise. There's a part of you that knows your future and your destiny and, like, who you are supposed to be. And the more you can listen to that, the better things are going to go for you. So I call it intuition, and we just practice. And I love what you said. You can change your mind, because a lot of people are like, intuition, like voice of God. And if I screw it up, my whole life is screwed up. It's like, no, you can screw up and then you're just going to get back on course, get back on course. It's taking that heaviness off every decision. First of all, you can't screw this up. It's your life. Life is going to keep leading you. You're not going to go off the path and mess up your life irreparably. That's all of our fear, though. Like on Tuesday in May, I did the wrong thing and I have to pay for it the rest of my life, you know?
Oh my goodness.
And so we bring this heaviness to it. So the reason we do that is because we've done stupid things in the past and they have hurt. And so we don't want to do that again. But it's understanding why'd you do things in the past? It was, you said, Patty, people pleaser. It's understanding, why did I do things wrong in the past? I wasn't honoring myself. And you said, it didn't feel good in my body. And I think as women and as all humans, we've been taught not to listen to that. Feels horrible in my body, but I got to make everybody happy. Feels horrible in my body, but I don't want to say no. I'm feeling sick, but I got to look good. It's like, nope, stop. Listen to that body. That's the inner guidance. When it's not your path, that's actually how you get off your path, is ignoring your body, pushing it too much, ignoring, your body's giving you warning sign. This isn't the right person. This isn't the right time. This isn't who you really are, and you just plow through. That's where pain comes. And the more you can honor the better. That's the subconscious part. Your body is like telling you all the time. That doesn't mean we're just a slave to our, feelings and everything, but your body's going to show you and have a good relationship with it instead of like an enemy with it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Cyrina, for those of you who can't see us on the video, Elaine and I are doing our bobbleheads again. We look like little bobbleheads going up and down because we totally prescribe to that. I mean, so many times if you would just, how maybe you're walking down a dark alley or you're walking down the street and the hairs on your arm stick up, listen to that, right? And it doesn't always have to be that, dramatic or, insightful. Sometimes it's just a little nudge or a little shift. And, it's important to listen to those feelings and that intuition for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm nodding my head just as much when you guys are talking, which is it's really fun. But it's listening to that and figuring out what that looks like for you. And getting quiet enough, and then doing two things. You have to set aside all the things being thrown at you. Well, I did this in my business and it worked perfectly, and I've always done this, and I go on Instagram and I go on LinkedIn and I go on Facebook, and like, even though you love those people and you want their level of success, you still have to honor this voice, and then you have to shut out your mind that's like, well, what if it doesn't work, and what are they going to say, and how's it, how are you going to do that? So it's like this practice, however that works for you, of listening to that and getting more in tuned.
Yes. Yep. I think, part of all of the decision making is that I've noticed when someone is faced with a huge decision, right? Like something that's going to cost a lot of money, like maybe investing in a coach or something like that. Let's use that example because that's one I think that really people really struggle with. Is this is a high priced item and I am having all the feelings, but trying to decipher between the good fear and the bad fear, right? The good fear is excited. Oh my God, the possibilities, all of the things the amazing things that could happen. And then the bad fear is, this is too much money. I'm not good enough. This is not going to work. It's kind of like this Jekyll and Hyde situation going on where we want the thing, we want the transformation that we're being promised, but we have this fear that it's not going to work out, that I'm going to waste my money, that I'm not good enough, or I have kids to feed and I can't spend that kind of money and things like that, right? There's always this back and forth. And I wrestled with it not too long ago, right? Being able to invest in something that was like, I would never have considered ever investing a certain dollar amount into myself. But I had to say to myself, if I want a different result, I have to be willing to do something different. And this is the scared, like excited fear versus the I'm not going to be able to feed my family fear, right? Because like I always ask myself, am I going to be homeless? No. That's like, to me, that's like the worst fear. That is like the ultimate bottom of the barrel is if I make a decision that's going to cause me and my husband to be homeless, that's not actually going to happen, right? It's just not. So I love being able to, for myself, like I've been working through all kinds of stuff on my own recently, just because of all of these learning opportunities that have been put into my path. I call them learning opportunities, right? Is making those really big, scary decisions from a good place and not from a fearful place. And I'm wondering if you could talk about kind of how do we get to that place of fear-based decision making versus, oh my gosh, this is excited fear, like good
Yeah.
fear kind of place.
Well, and that's a really an amazing example, because some people have the idea, well, if I trust my intuition, it's going to be butterflies and rainbows and everything's going to be great. And then if anything bad happens, oh, maybe I didn't listen. Right. And I have a journal from like 2010 that's like psychotic. Like my intuition is like saying, calm, release, let go. And my ego is like, never. But I had to learn me. Right. You
I
have
love
to
that.
learn. I'm like a pit bull. Like I'm not letting go. Like, but I learned me. Right. And you learned you. So it's sitting and learning what are your things that come up when these decisions come, and listening. But it's understanding that growth and life is gonna have us in those scary positions. But what is that inner part of you? That inner part of you is saying, sweetie, you're enough. You can do this. This is your time, and connecting with that. And then the other fear always is like the end of the world. We all die and we're homeless. And you can learn that. But the other thing people want to do is they want to be like, no fear. I'm not listening to my fear, and it's like a woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. I'm not remembering her name.
Gilbert.
Yeah, Liz Gilbert. You listen to fear, but it sits in the back seat and you need to honor it. So this is the process. If you're going to listen to your subconscious, you sit with all the things, the uncomfortable feelings and the falling off a cliff, and maybe you'll die and everyone will hate you and you'll be, alone in a hut the rest of your life. Or maybe you'll make this decision and you'll miss it, like I said earlier, and the whole rest of your life will be off. You listen to it, but it doesn't get to drive. And that's how you learn yourself. We are these incredible beings. And a lot of times we're not honoring ourselves. We're like, shut the fear down, move forward, never listen, or any of, the bad feelings. Because in saying that, your body was saying, this doesn't feel right, I need to make my decision earlier. We can also have scared feelings come up when we're doing something super exciting and new. So it's learning yourself. Each of us is going to do these things differently, and honoring ourselves. I'm a human. Life is scary. Business is scary. Growth is scary. How can I love myself in this and support myself in this, and make sure fear is in the back seat, not driving?
Okay, so I have a really funny analogy that I started using around this, and I call myself saboteur. She's trying to drive the car, and I'm like, no. So I give her permission to control the radio, be in the passenger seat, right? But then my goal is to get her in the trunk. So as she is, right, being a little B word, let's just be clear here, right? She's never trying to help me grow. She's just trying to keep me stuck where I'm at. So we're driving in the car and I'm on my journey, and here she is trying to control the radio. And I finally get tired of her and say, I don't want to listen to country music. Get in the back seat. And so I put her in the back seat. Now she becomes the back seat driver, and she's nagging in my ear about, you should have turned there, and why are you going this way, and blah, 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 blah. then I'm like, all right, that's it. You're going in the trunk, because I cannot get where I want to go with you in my ear, nagging at me and trying to keep me stuck and not going to new places and not trying new things. So I love that you were talking about the car, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such an analogy that I use all the time. And I talk about putting my saboteur in the trunk.
So here's the deal. Our subconscious is designed to keep us alive and keep us safe, right? And, 2000 years ago, the best thing you could do was be with the crowd. Don't make waves. Stay with the group. If you're going to go off with your idea, you're going to get eaten by a lion, or you're not going to have food or whatever. So that's still in us. So where's the safest place in the world? To me, I always say in my bed or under my bed. So that part of you is always going to be like safe, and I love, so the thing you've done that's very powerful is connect with your subconscious. Your subconscious operates off words and pictures. It operates off stories. When you can learn yourself and you can learn what stories come up, what pictures come up for me. Some people picture themselves in a cage and I'm protected from everyone else, but like I'm in a cage. I'm the one trapped, right? When we figure out our stories and our pictures, we can work with them. Stick them in the trunk. It's amazing. I love it. Do you have, so I got to ask, is your car like a certain type of car?
It's like a pink, a baby pink car. I don't know why. Because I've never had that kind of car in my life. It's like Barbie dream girl, right? Like that very light pink car, very Cadillac-ish, right? Old school, like, I don't know,
Thelma and Louise kind of car.
Yeah, exactly. Like that very old school car. And she's trying to take over. And I'm just like, no, bitch, get out of here. Like, get out.
Yep. And, so you've learned to translate that subconscious fear that's going to always come up and be like, Elaine, stay home, shut up, be quiet.
Yeah.
What are they all going to think? And you've understood, translate that, sticker in the trunk, and continue to drive.
And we've gone from her trying to convince me to just stay home and play with bubble wrap, right? Because I don't know, like playing with bubble wrap apparently was fun. But it was like, I think that came up for me one time because I used to say that I wanted to wrap my kids in bubble wrap just to keep them safe from the world, right? And I'm like, I can't really do that. It's very Finding Nemo kind of situation going on there, right? Like,
I have 4 girls. I want an island that they all live on that is not associated with the real world at all.
Exactly. And so then I used to like imagine my saboteur was like a little girl in the living room with bubble wrap saying, no, just stay here with me. Let's play. At least we've gotten out of the house and we're in a car now, but still she's not yet left my side. And so we have many conversations.
And the more you sit and listen and, take, it's, to me, I don't know how long it is for you. It's like 10 minutes when we kind of honor what's coming up, and then we can deal with it. Your job is to figure out what are those stories, what are the pictures you have, and rewrite them. Putting her in the trunk is rewriting them. That's where you're saying you're the adult, we're the problem, because we come to the table with these stories. We were at one point a victim, right? We were 0 to age 7 or 10. So we were given programs, but our job as adults is to say, okay, here's what the program is. And now I get to rewrite it. I'm no longer a kid and I get to run my life. That's easier said than done. It doesn't devalue or dismiss any abuse that happened. But at some point we have to raise our hand and say, I want to be in control now. I want to run the show. I want to succeed. And, as a person myself who's had lots of abuse, it's like I said, it's not dismissing that. It's saying you can be free. That's the important thing.
Oh, wow. This is such like a crazy good, juicy conversation that we're having. So one of the things that we always ask Cyrina is, what is the motto that you live by? So my motto stays the same. Elaine's motto depends on the season or what project she's working on, for like internal motivation. We would love to know what your motto is.
I really like that you asked, and I don't know why I've never really thought about it, like to stick it somewhere other than I am enough is a very, like, that's a really powerful one for me. It's the woman who created Rapid Transformational Therapy. That's like her book, her deal. I am enough. And that is just a powerful statement. I'm enough to handle anything life throws at me. And I'm also in my mind, I think I'm enough for the opportunities. I'm enough for the invitations. I'm enough for the success. But the other one that came up that I really believe is whatever is coming up is ready to heal. And I used to think when things come up, challenges, old beliefs, pain, I used to think, oh God, it's stopping me. Now I have to, now I can't make it. Like this wall is here. And now I understand it's coming up, this old belief, this situation, the challenge, because you are enough. It is tied into that to deal with it now. It's coming up at the right time to grow you, to show you how strong you are, and to teach you. And because whatever old things were buried, they're coming up to come out. They're coming up so that you can be a different person. So that one has really served me well, because when those challenges come up, it can be easy to go, oh, another thing, or how am I going to do this? But to know, okay, the universe's timing is that I'm ready now to move past this.
Oh, I love that, because mine is I deserve to be here, right? Like I've had successes, I've had challenges, but I deserve to be here in this space right now at this time. That is, why I'm here. So, Elaine, what is yours for this week?
Well, I kind of mentioned it already, but I mean, it's kind of my season right now is that, if you want to get a different result, you have to be willing to do something different. And it cannot always just be business as usual. It has to be, what are you willing to do in order to disrupt the status quo? And, we were all born to stand out, not to fit in, right? And I try to do that on purpose. Like I'm going to stand out on purpose with intention. I'm going to be intentional about it, which kind of leads us into our next question, which is, how, Cyrina, have you designed your life by design and not default?
The main thing is learning myself, listening to myself. It's all the inner work. It's all, whenever there's a problem outside, I go, all right, what is it inside? Like what's in me? What do I need to change? What do I need to address? And so that inner work of understanding life is reflecting things that are in me, and trusting myself. If it feels awful, if I feel tired, if I'm not feeling in integrity, it's just like time out. Let's change. Let's do this. For me, in the past, I can easily be a workaholic. I can easily be way overboard, out of balance. I have 4 kids at home at the moment. To listen to them when they're like, Mom, get off your phone, but listen to when I need to relax about it, and then listen, why do I feel like I have to work so much? What am I trying to prove? That's my deal. I know myself. That's my deal. I want y'all to love me and praise me and tell me I'm good, but I need to do that on the inside, right. So that's how I ran a business 12 years ago, completely burned out because I was ignoring I was starting to get an ulcer. I was ignoring my body. I was ignoring that I was tired. I was ignoring that I was scared. And I was just plowing through with my to-do list and telling people yes and doing what they wanted, thinking if I do all these things on the outside, it'll fill me up, right? So now always, how do I fill myself up so I can give out of that place instead of trying to get? Yeah. So that's how I do it intentionally, is listening to those energy levels when I want to always be giving and not taking.
Yeah. That's so good. So
Oh,
good.
so good. I know. And as you were talking, Cyrina, I was thinking of we had another podcast guest, and she gave us a really good analogy of exactly what you're saying. If people want a visual picture of, if you have a teacup and a saucer, right? Fill the teacup, fill the cup first, and then everything that overflows into the saucer is what you can have to give to others.
Yes.
Because your cup is full, right? And you can do more and have a greater impact by, having that philosophy.
That's abundance and that's success, because we love people that are overflowing their abundance and love and energy onto us. But the ones that need our approval, or they need our sale, or they need whatever it is, we automatically back off. So it's understanding like how we're showing up in the world too. I love that analogy. It's great.
Oh my goodness, Cyrina, where else can people find more out, about you? I know you're going to be in Elaine's upcoming book. I know that you have some other things going on. Just share with our audience where people can learn more.
So if you can spell my name, you're good. So Cyrina Talbott, TALBOTT.com, Cyrina Talbott on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. That's where you can find me. And I have a Facebook group that we recently started, another, an emotional intelligence coach, Abby Waters and I started Resilient You. So that's a great place, just a community where we're encouraging each other as we grow and we do this intentionally. And Elaine, I think it's such a good point. Like it's different, like not everybody is doing this. And so I think it is important to have those communities. I know you guys have those communities as well.
Yeah.
So CyrinaTalbott.com.
Awesome. And we're super excited to have you as a panelist in our upcoming Level Up to Scale Up Summit. So excited.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, let me just say, it is our virtual business experience that we're having on May 21st and 22nd. You don't want to miss out on it, because it is where we are going to help you fall in love with your business again, leveling up to scale up. Not only is Cyrina going to be one of our panelists, she's also going to be available for questions and Q&A. So if you have any of what Cyrina was sharing with us today interests you, you don't want to miss out on this VIP or virtual business experience that we're going to be having.
Yes.
I love it.
So excited. So we are just so thrilled to have you in our circle of, of people, because I think that, one of the things with as entrepreneurs is that together we all rise, right? And together being able to call on someone and say, hey, I have a client who needs some help, and being able to know that I trust that you would take care of a client of mine, right? Like, I love that as we are entrepreneurs, we also really need those relationships that we have built in order to better serve our clients, but also help ourselves, and being able to find people that would take care of your people. And I consider you to be one of those people that if I were ever in a situation, or if I knew that one of my clients needed more help than I could offer, I would know exactly where to go. So thank you for being one of those people that I consider in my little tribe of trusted professionals that I know would go above and beyond to help somebody that I cared about.
I love that so much. That's an honor to be in that space. And I'm so excited for the summit, for all of that. You guys have 33 speakers. I'm excited to sit and take notes and learn as well.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes, we've got some really great. I'm so excited for it. We have 2 keynote speakers that I think are just going to completely knock everybody's socks off. So Leah Valencia was a person that I got to see. The first time I saw her was on Jamie Lima's Unstoppable. Like, she was having a big giant book launch and was doing this big, like, all day event. And Leah Valencia was on, and she's a QVC. She'd won this like contest, and it was her first like speaking thing. And her story is so incredibly powerful that I was like, oh my gosh, what if we got her to come on to be a keynote? And all I did was ask, and she was like, yes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then, so she's going to kick off our event on day one, which I'm like so excited about. And then on day two, Fidel Ford is going to completely get us into the mindset in order to open ourselves up, in order to move into the masterminds and the co-working, and just really give us the what we need in order to open ourselves up and receive, right? And being able to implement what we've learned. So
and then of course Elaine and I will be there,
oh yeah,
dropping all the knowledge nuggets.
Are you guys talking together?
We probably, we got a couple things that we're doing. We'll definitely do something together because there's just something with our best business bestie friendship that is just so pure and beautiful. So we will definitely be doing stuff together. So we'll be there the whole day, but we each have, separate sessions and separate things that we bring to the table. So we're just excited to be able to bring everybody together and have this experience for everyone.
Yeah. So we're just so excited. So thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today. It was so great to see you again and talk with you again, and just so much juicy nuggets being dropped today. Loved it.
Oh, it was so fun. Thank you guys so much for this space. And this is my favorite thing to talk about. So I loved. I'm really looking forward to hanging out in May at the summit. And thank you so much.
Yes.
Great. Take care, everyone.